Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my theory tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbale.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's an exam technique guide and it's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time when you're actually in the exam room working through your exam paper. So visit sharonbale.com and you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab. Please do. Give me some encouragement, give me a like and subscribe to my channel, stay updated. There's lots more in store. And so now we're going to complete the last questions on section C, paper C of the grade 5 2016 past papers. So if you turn with me to page 20, we can now crack on with these questions. As I always say, do have a go of this first of all, or just listen to a little bit of the explanation and then crack on and have a go yourself. It doesn't matter if you make any mistakes. It's always better to learn that way. You're always writing in pencil, so you've got your eraser to hand. Should you make a mistake, you can rub it out and have another go, but you'll learn much better through your mistakes than just by copying. And so I'm hoping you've had a go of this, and so now we're going to answer question 5. So question 5 asks us, using semi-briefs or whole notes so we don't have to worry about stems, write one octave ascending, so we're going upwards, just make a note of that, although it would be difficult to go down from such a low note, of the chromatic scale that begins on this note. Remember to put in all the necessary sharp, flat or natural signs. So just a clue there, we've got to cancel what's gone before if we no longer need it. And so we've got to think about, we're starting on a D flat, so although we are going to be writing every single note, and you may find a sketch of the piano keyboard helps you just to visualise that. I certainly would, I always do. But we need to remember that we try and keep notes 1, 4 and 5 appropriate to the scale given. So D flat would have D flat, of course, rather than C sharp would be our choice. And then D, E, F, G, we would have a G flat, which is part of the D flat major scale. So we would choose G flat rather than F sharp when we get that choice. And then number 5 is A. We would choose A flat rather than G sharp. So we want to choose D flats, G flats and A flats where we can, where there's a choice, just rather to keep it within that D flat major kind of 1, 4 and 5. Other than that, we just literally step up the semitones a little chromatic step at a time. So we have, if I just try and keep that in screen, there we go. So we have a D flat, so now we want a D natural. And keep it as simple as possible. There's no point having an E double flat, just a D natural will suffice. Now we can have an E flat. And then we need to cancel that by having an E natural. Just plain old F will do next. And then here, this is where we get the choice. We don't really want to say F sharp, we'll call it G flat. And we're just making sure that we've got every note allocated at least once. So we've got D's, E's, we've not missed F. We could have said E flat, E natural, E sharp, but that would have not given us the step F in the scale. Every step, every letter allocation needs to be regarded just once at least. So we've said F. Now we've got G flat to keep it appropriate. And if you're in flats, try and use flats as much as you can, and that will answer the same purpose. So now we want a G natural, so we'll cancel that flat. And now we've used the G twice. We would not say G sharp and then miss A out. We will call that A flat, and then that's in keeping with the flats and the key as well. So we want an A flat. Now we can have an A natural. Just keeping it as simple as possible. Then we want a B flat. And then we want a B natural, so we cancel that with a sign. If you forget all of these natural signs, this will be incorrect because you're still saying B flat. The next one is C. So we've given C. So we wouldn't say B sharp and then have no C. And then finally, we wouldn't end on C sharp. We need to end on D flat to stay in keeping with our starting note. So there we go. Just keep it as simple as possible and make sure every space and line is allocated at least once. So you're definitely stepping up this stave in chromatic intervals, giving every letter name its proper allocation. There we go, it's nice and easy really. Okay, next one, using semi-breves or whole notes. So again, we don't have to worry about stems. Right, one octave descending, so we're coming down of the harmonic minor scale that has the given key signature. So we need to begin on the tonic, and we need to just make sure that we add any necessary sharp, flat or natural signs to make this harmonic minor. I always suggest that you have your circle of fifths to hand before you start any paper, and so you've done all your thinking about your key signatures in one go, and then you haven't got to keep racking your brains. You've just done it straight away and it's there to refer to. And you can see that the minor scale that has 4 flats is F minor, which is related to A flat major. So our key note is going to be F. And so I'm choosing quite a high F, and that way I know I can come down. So I'm just going to write the scale in line, space, line, space, all the way down to our octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we need to make this the harmonic minor scale. And so if you remember, the harmonic minor scale has a raised 7th. So if we're 8, 7, remember counting backwards, it's not 1, 2, 3, because that would be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll count backwards 8 to 7. Here's our 7th degree of the scale, and we raise that from E flat by adding a natural sign, making it E natural, and then that's that question completed. So moving over the page, now in this 2016 paper, of course, we've got a melody question. We complete the melody or complete a melody to words. However, we're just going to skip this because it's no longer part of the newly revised exam syllabus for the theory exams. I do suggest that you have a go of this in your music theory and practice workbook, just so that you're aware of the necessary procedures for answering this question. It's a good useful skill to have. However, it's not part of this exam paper, and so we're going to skip that and move on to the last question. This is always my favourite question. It's like 10 marks, easy peasy. And so we've got to suggest suitable progressions for cadences. So they've got to be recognised chord progressions. So if you remember your cadences, we've got the perfect cadence, 5 to 1. We've got the plagal cadence, 4 to 1. We've got the imperfect cadence, which ends on chord 5, that kind of leaves you hanging. And so we've got to choose the chords that would most suitably fit in these two cadence points at the halfway mark and then at the very end. So before we can choose those chords, we need to see what chords we've got to choose from, and we need to choose our key first of all. So key signature of nothing, there, no key signature, no accidentals, And a big clue is we're ending on C as well. We know that we're in C major, so let's just write out our chords to choose from. So I'm just going to sketch these out here. So we want chords 1, 2, 4 and 5. We don't bother with 3 at this point. It's not one of the triads that we would be referring to. So in C major, C is chord 1, C, D, E we skip, F, G. Now we make our triads based on the first, third and the fifth. And if you find that tricky, just use your piano keyboard, first, third, fifth. So we know we want C, E, G, D, F, A, F, A, C, G, B, D. There's no need for us to choose whether it's root position or an inversion because we've got no bass notes. So there's no information for us to do that. And we've got to choose the chords rather than just name them. And so I'm going to look at this progression here first. And I'm going to start with this end chord. So here we've got a C and an E. And so our best choice is chord 1, which is a C, E, G. So we need to choose now between either a chord 4 or a chord 5 as best fits these melody notes. So here we've got an A, an F and a C. So F, A, C encompasses all of those. And so we've got a chord 4 to 1. And we know that's a good choice because that's a recognised plagal cadence. It gives kind of a sort of a gentle but firm close. It's like a sort of an amen sort of ending. Let's look at the next progression then. So I'm going to start from the back again and see what I've got. So we've just got one note here to choose our final chord. And so although C is part of chord 4, that would not be a recognised chord to end on. Chord 1 is a better choice to give us a recognised cadence. So it's quite acceptable to end on chord 1. So let's see what we get before that. We've got a B and a G, back to a B. So we've only got 2 notes, but B and G is part of chord 5. And so 5 to 1 is a perfect cadence, so that's more than acceptable to give us a sort of a ta-da definite finish. And then we just need to choose a chord to precede that. Now here we've got a note that doesn't necessarily belong to the chord, that's just a passing note which passes through by step, filling in the gap between these 2 harmony notes. So we're just going to discount that one and look at the harmony notes. We've got a D, an F and an A. And D, F, A is chord 2, and that's always a good choice to lead into a cadence point. So that's that question completed. I do hope that you found that helpful. I hope that you're enjoying this just as much as I'm enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that'd be really encouraging to me. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. Also, please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the information and resource that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.